Welcome back to the high school sports page. The Burns Insurance Group, our title sponsor. We're going to look at Division II polls, starting with Division II AA. MBA, Brentwood Academy, Christian Brothers, all remain on my Division II AA poll. They were all big winners this past Friday night.
Same thing in the Mid-State, Murphy. MBA, Brentwood Academy, Baylor all had wins. Look out, this week MBA at Brentwood Academy. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah, you have to get there tomorrow at 5 o'clock if you want a parking space. In Division II Single A, however, some changes, big changes. BGA's surprise loss to Davidson Academy moves the Wildcats out of my top 3 list and elevates FRA to my top spot. North Point Christian, which is actually in South Haven, Mississippi, but plays with Tennessee Schools. They're 7-0 after a big win over Lausanne. They're now number 2 in DCA. I meant to call Dennis Goodwin, but he's on vacation this week. That may have been DCA's first win ever over Webb. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Nice one nonetheless.
No doubt about it. I've got FRA in the top spot as well. Big win over Ezel Harding. Davidson Academy in the number 2 position as they knocked off BGA 17-7, and the Wildcats dropped to number 3 following that loss. And Murphy, I agree. DCA, I was really on the borderline with BGA and DCA, but I decided to stick with the Wildcats for this week.
I understand. Laura is back. Laura Marbury with the dairy producers back with us after she had to take a sabbatical because she had a baby or something like that. I don't know. But Laura, welcome.
It's great to be back.
You look marvelous,
Well,
as they would say. I'm assuming the little girl doing well.
She's doing great.
And Daddy has babysitting duty tonight, right?
He does.
Well, does he get graded after that when you come home if it's screaming and crying?
I try to keep it simple, but yes, I would prefer for her to be asleep when I get home. So we'll see.
Okay. We're glad to have you with us tonight, and I understand you're going to talk a little bit about energy food, and that's something I really need to pay attention to because at my age I kind of feel like a nap is needed in the afternoon from time to time.
You and so many other people, many Americans are fatigued. There's a CDC study that says 15% of men and women report being sleepy and actually have to drink about 3 cups of coffee a day. So for us and athletes and anyone really, it's very important to think about what you're eating and drinking and how it can actually help fuel you through the day. So one of the main things you want to do is to start with a healthy breakfast. So eating whole grains, protein, dairy is a great source of protein. Pair that with oatmeal instead of water, and that's a really great start to your day. Or cereal is another good example. And then iron. Iron is something that a lot of us are deficient in, and that can cause you to have less energy. So picking iron-rich foods like lean meat. I brought a salad here tonight that has steak on it. If you pair iron-rich foods like steak with dairy foods, they can actually help you to absorb more iron. So pairing dairy with an iron food is actually a great combination.
So probably be a great idea for maybe because salads are pretty lightweight anyway, and it'd be a great pregame meal maybe for athletes to at least to include that.
Yes, they definitely want to include more iron in their diet. And then you also want to think about snacking smarter. Snacks help bridge the gap between meals and keep you focused and full and energized and ready for practice or a big game. And one thing I brought with me tonight is this, it looks like guacamole, but it's actually avocado hummus. So you get the benefits of hummus, the chickpeas, which are full of carbohydrates for energy, but also it's made with avocado, which is a really healthy fat, and there's also Greek yogurt in there, which provides protein as well, so it's a great combination of all the nutrients that you need.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate the information. We're glad to have you back. You had great substitutes in your absence, but hopefully we'll see you for the next 3 weeks or so as we round out the high school football season.
Well, thank you.
All righty. We're going to take a look right now at some of the great upcoming games, and they really start getting good now, Terry. So what have we got in the Mid-State this week?
Yeah, it's coming down to it, Murphy. MBA at Brentwood Academy, what can I say? Both teams undefeated in Division II Single A. Last week it was Brentwood Academy all over Innsworth, as we know. So take your pick. It's going to be a great football game. Another big one right at Brentwood, about a mile and a half down the road. Centennial at Brentwood in Region 7-5A, both undefeated in the region. Centennial's won 5 in a row, Brentwood 3 in a row. The winner stays in a tie with Henry County. Another big game there. In 5-5A, down the road also, Independence at Shelbyville. Independence still number 1 in the AP poll this week. Shelbyville got knocked off by Lincoln County next week, but if they can knock off the Eagles, and they'll be in a tie for first place in that region. Lipscomb Academy at Franklin Road Academy. We just had Scott Tillman. Lipscomb undefeated in their region. It's not a regional game, but FRA 7-0 on the move under Bill Whittemore. Should be a good gauge for both these teams. Also, BGA at Knoxville Webb in 2 single A. Ironically enough, Murphy, both these teams met for the championship last year and both got beat last week. So a lot on the line as they both try to, they have visions of returning to Cookeville, obviously for the championship again. We'll see what happens. And out in 6-5A, out in Hendersonville, the Commandos host Gallatin, a big game for the Green Wave. They lost to Beach last week. They need to win this game to stay in contention. They're in a 3-way tie for second with Cane Ridge and also Station Camp. Hendersonville, they want to win too because they're in a 3-way tie for first place with Beach and Hillsborough, so that is a big, big football game out there.
Terry, with even nearly 100 high schools across the state not playing this week because of fall break, still some really great games in East Tennessee. Greenback at Cofield, a couple of really good 1A football teams. Knoxville West and Farragut. This has not been a regional game for these teams in the past. They play each other a lot, but a big 5A game in Knoxville. Whitwell at South Pittsburgh, a great 1A game down in the Chattanooga area. Out west, Cordova and White Station. Cordova, one of only a couple of 6A teams still without a loss. That ought to be a dandy in Memphis. Jackson Northside at Hardin County. Hardin County, one of very few 4A football teams without a loss. And Westview at South Gibson, a huge game involving 3A teams west of the Tennessee River. All of those ought to be dandies. Only 3 more weeks after this week, so the playoff picture is starting to clarify itself a whole lot, and we thank you for being with us once again on this 8th week of the high school football season. Terry, still a lot of football to be played.
Some big games coming up the next 2 or 3 weeks, no doubt.
All right, we're going to call it a night. That's been the High School Sports Page, brought to you by the Burns Insurance Group. Get out and watch a high school football game this week and let those kids know you care. Good night.